Hello and welcome to the Power Circuit, just fresh from the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. On the transmission mandate in today's edition, we have a specially packaged report on the quest by TCN to stop indiscriminate refuse dump and trespass around power transmission lines in the Lagos region. The Power Circuit went on a tour of these facilities, but before presenting the special report on the transmission mandate segment of this program, we have the Minister's desk. The Minister of Power, Engineer Abubakar D. Aliyu, spoke on the quality of services to electricity consumers, which he said has improved and will further be enhanced with the commissioning of more power transmission and distribution infrastructure. This is Amara Agogoesi. Try a seat, get comfortable, and let's take the reports. The Minister of Power, Engineer Abubakar D. Aliyu, says the quality of services to electricity consumers has improved as the federal government is working on commissioning more power transmission and distribution infrastructure nationwide. Engineer Aliyu stated this in his address at the Joint Budget Defense Session of the National Assembly.
At the joint session of the Senate and House of Representatives Committee on Power, the minister who was present along with the Minister of State for Power, Dr. Godi J.D. Agba, stated that more power infrastructure projects have been added to the national grid.
Based on the above-mentioned efforts, the quality of service enjoyed by electricity consumers in Nigeria has improved, as evidenced by the recent report from the National Control Center, Oshogo, which recorded highest energy generation per day in the history of Nigerian electricity supply industry, delivering 119,471.15 megawatts hour of energy as at 5th March 2021, while the grid also recorded the highest peak generation in the supply of quality and reliable electricity. This will further improve upon the completion and commissioning of ongoing infrastructure in the transmission and distribution networks.
Engineer Aliyu said more renewable energy projects have come on stream to improve access to electricity.
This is a landmark project in the government effort to increase renewable energy share of the energy mix. Several mini hydroelectric power projects and solar-powered mini-grids under the Renewable Energy Micro-Utility Scheme have been completed, and commissioning has commenced across the country in order to deepen rural access to electricity supply in Nigeria. The solar PV in public buildings is also an initiative of the Federal Ministry of Power to provide sustainable alternative source of power in selected federal government buildings to demonstrate the feasibility and viability of solar PV power plants while reducing the carbon footprint in Nigeria from the energy consumptions in the buildings.
Earlier speaking, Chairman of the Joint Session and Chairman of the Senate Committee on Power, Honorable Gabriel Sozwan, said the session presented the opportunity for the Federal Ministry of Power and its agencies to brief the lawmakers on the current budget implementation and to defend the next year budget.
You'll recall that Mr. President presented the 2023 budget to the National Assembly Joint Session last month, and the budget was committed to the Senate Committee on Appropriation, and the subcommittees of appropriation are the standing committee of both houses. The appropriation gave us a timetable. By that, we're expected to invite ministries and departments to come for budget defense, which is why you are here today. Will we be raising questions on the budget performance of last year, 2022, and then the presentation by the President of 2023.
Also speaking, the co-chair of the joint session and chairman of the House Committee on Power, Honorable Magaji Dao Aliu, noted the minister's visit to the Zungeru hydropower project recently, which is over 90% completed, as well as the resettlement of the affected residents.
On this issue of the Zungeru, both the rehabilitation or the resettlement and the achievement made so far, we'll extend our oversight to this location. Probably after this meeting we'll discuss with you on how soon we can go and see how that plant looks. I saw it. I saw your visit, and certainly we'll want to see the people who were really resettled.
We'll be right back after this break.
Guy, I had earlier seen some big rabbits here. I will start the fire from here, you take the matches, light from the other way, and it goes round.
What's going on here?
Sir, we are hunting for bushmeat.
Hunting for bushmeat? And you're here setting fire near a transmission substation. Can't you see? Are both of you blind?
Oh, guy, we are not blind, Joe. You can see it. The station you talk about is built with metal and strong materials.
Exactly.
Besides this, I cannot get inside.
Hey, when you burn bush near any of the transmission company of Nigeria's substation or tower, it can cause the tower to weaken and collapse. And these lines you see can fall on the ground, killing everything around.
Just like that.
And you cannot control the area where the fire burns. That's why it's dangerous.
But we are only hunting for bushmeat.
You're hunting for bushmeat.
But we're in this together. Are you trying to behind me?
Now, drop your machetes.
We came with it from...
Both of you, drop your knives. And you, the matches, drop them. Oh yeah, move! Move it! Come on, move it! Move it! Come.
Bush burning destroys transmission towers and lines, and the consequences are that there will be no power supply until Transmission Company of Nigeria is able to construct another tower or restore the lines. And the money that would have been used in expanding the grid to increase bulk transmission would be used to restore the towers and lines destroyed by the fire. We need to support the efforts of Transmission Company of Nigeria by not burning bush anywhere close to the stations, towers and lines.
This message is brought to you by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. Transmitting electricity in the most efficient and effective manner.
The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, does not just build power transmission lines and substations, or just operate these facilities. The company has sustained the protection and maintenance of these facilities. Come with us to the Lagos region, where you'll see for yourself the latest remediation actions by the company on key power transmission lines to safeguard them against refuse dump and encroachments.
This is Tower 78 on the 132 kilovolt Ota to Papalanto power transmission line in Ogun State. It is one of the power assets under the Lagos region of the Transmission Company of Nigeria. But this is not a good sight to behold. Residents near the power line have littered the right of way of this facility with refuse, and this could pose the risks of fire, especially as we enter into the dry season.
It's because of the refuse dropping to the under the line. That's why we have to notify the management that we need to do something of erosion control to not enable them to be dropping the refuse under the line.
The initial process of getting drainage done along the line route to discourage refuse dumping was hampered, but that has been cleared and the construction work is ongoing, the officials said.
The people dropping refuse didn't allow the contractor to enable to commence the job. So I have to come in And I now tell the contractor to go and look for the security. In fact, the day the contractor about to start the job, there's a lot of tug of war here that they are not going to allow the contractor to do any job under the line. So the line now advise the contractor to go and look for the security. In fact, when they brought the security, most of them have to bring juju that day. They will not allow them to. I now tell them that you know this power line belongs to federal government. What they are doing is not okay. And I told them that who gave you this land? They say it's somebody that said the land to them. Can you provide the person? None of them didn't answer me. In fact, when they brought the security, they now run away with the juju. So that's why the management now said that we should do the erosion control. The erosion control.
According to Engineer Olatunji, the implication of the refuse site under the transmission line is that it denies TCN the opportunity to execute its scheduled maintenance as well as its routine line patrol.
We are not have access to patrol the tower because even you can see the part of the refuse that still pack is even more than this. It's even more than this. We now told them that they should remove it. We didn't want to see it. Even it's the contractor that look for the tractor to pack the part of it. They're leaving the contractor work. It causes corrosion of the four leg of the tower. It's really affecting the four leg of the tower. And we are trying to avoid not to bring any fire or fire break under the power line.
The same menace of refuse dumping and transmission line right-of-way encroachment was observed at Towers 1 and 2 on the Ota to Oba line 132 kV power transmission line. This critical power asset links the Oba axis of Lagos with the Ota axis in Ogun State in terms of direct bulk power supply to distribution load centers.
We have Ota, Ogba, Papaland 132 kV line. There is a lot of refuse dropping under the power line. Initially, we have been driving them away since, but they refuse to leave. To the extent towards early this year, between Tower 2 to Tower 3 got fire. To the extent the firefighter tried to off the light. To the extent that we have to look for another firefighter before the light can went off. And when the light is burning seriously, it's even affect the tubular pole, which is Tower 2, that serve Ogba, Papalanto 132 kV line.
Further speaking on the remediation action by TCN along the line route in the area, Engineer Olatunji commended the management for taking proactive steps. The company is also planning an erosion control project along this area in Ogba while working to improve security coverage for the transmission line route.
Officials of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, also led the power circuit team to another site. This time, it is the Ojo to Akomba 132 kV transmission line in Lagos, where the power asset faces a similar threat of refuse dump and encroachment. Come with us.
We are under Ojo, Akongba, 122 kV line. We are in this area they call Ojo cantonment area in Lagos. We have our Ojo TS, 132 kV TS by this side. And this line is the line we refer to as Ojo Agbara 132 kV line, double circuit. So this point where we are is beside Tower 61. Wide to our right, 62, and far up to the left, we have Tower 60 that is next to this tower. So directly at the opposite of this line, this is where Lagos State has a market, fruit market. And because of this market situated in this place for years, the marketers have used under the line as their refuse dump site.
TCN has taken crucial steps to address this situation, but there are acts of deviance, according to Engineer Kuye.
Which the lines has complained, we have brought police to send them away to discourage the idea of putting refuse under the line. So when I came to Akongba a year ago, I came here, I discovered that the refuse has already made the tower body to corrode. So I wrote for it, and management, TCN management, sent engineers, civil engineers to come and see what has happened, the effect it has on the foundation and the tower structure. So because of this, TCN management came up with this project. They assume all the refuse that are surrounding the tower. You can see them. These are the refuse dumping site before. From this tower 61 down to 60. So as we battle with the idea of discouraging it, we thank God that this year Lagos State came up with the idea of using the land at the right side of this line for their project.
The right-of-way of power transmission line is not a place to dump refuse, and so Nigerians are urged to desist from such a habit to avert the various health risks and hazards associated with such practice.
Wherever we have TCN line, we should not be dumping refuse there. And also to sensitize the public that what belongs to the federal government or a sector in the government belongs to all of us. So we should not see it as if the line does not belong to them. The right of way of this line belongs truly to TCN and also belong to the public, the people of Nigeria.
Apart from safeguarding power facilities as national assets and the commonwealth of Nigerians, there are health and environmental effects of compromising the right-of-way of power transmission lines.
This is a section of the 330 kilovolts Akongba to Ikeja West power transmission line in Lagos. Just like the 132 kilovolts line, residents have turned the base of this power transmission line to a dump site, and that calls for concerted efforts to stop the practice.
According to power sector experts, a power transmission line is not just a national asset, but closely ranked with a national security apparatus.
We are in between Tower 536, 537, Ikeja West, Akongba, 330 kV line 1. This area in Lagos is
It's called, it's in between Igando and Ikotun. And we have two of our lines that run through this area in Lagos. This area exactly happens to be in a valley area along the line. And from what I was told, that the villagers around this area used to bring their refuse to this place, even before the development of this area. So that's why you see heap of refuse here.
The major threat to the double power transmission line route is a risk of fire due to the spreading of refuse dump.
This refuse leads to the rapid corrosion of the tower structures, the lower part of it. So these are the problems we face in this type of place, and it doesn't give access to move from one point to the other. For example, before we could get to this place, instead of just moving for 5 minutes.
According to the TCN line experts, the refuse site has been turned into a commercial hub, marking the presence of more persons holding activities under the power transmission line.
This act here has even turned to commercial resources to some people. One, by the time you get up there, before any refuse scavenger can come here, there are people collecting money there. People that are sorting this refuse, before they come, they collect money. As they go up, they collect money. People that are pushing the truck, they collect money. So there are some people who call themselves landowners that have turned into a source of getting money. So to stop it, government has to come with force. If not, it is not easy to stop it. More also, this place has made it very easy for people living around this place. Instead of waiting for government to come and pack their refuse, they just walk into this place and drop refuse. So, except, even by the time you put security here, the number of security that will control this place, I begin to imagine that it should be more than 20. And they have to be, it has to be 24 hours.
Well, you have seen the challenges TCN has been battling with in ensuring that people steer clear of power transmission lines. Let's keep the advocacy work going to curb indecent refuse dumping around power transmission lines. Let's take the headlines again. The Minister of Power, Engineer Abubakar D. Aliyu, said the quality of services to electricity consumers has improved and will further be enhanced as the federal government will soon commission more power transmission and distribution infrastructure. The special report you watched was on the quest by TCN to stop indiscriminate refuse dump and trespass of power transmission lines in the Lagos region. We promise to keep you updated about key milestones and steps in the Nigerian power sector, especially the massive power transmission projects being delivered by the leadership of TCN, led by the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Engineer Dr. Sule Ahmed Abdulaziz. Don't forget to catch up with power transmission reports on the TCN YouTube channel. Here are more platforms you can explore, and know this, we take your feedback seriously. Amara Agugoesi is saying, thanks for watching.